Right, hello, we're back with the final part of the Kramer Focus 3000 neck fix, and I'll just zip out of the way a bit. I know my light's not brilliant in here, but I'm going to zoom in. Just about see the full neck there. It's still all zeroed out, as you can see on the dials. The neck now has been refretted. We beveled the fret edges, we hammered the frets right in 2 or 3 times, make sure they're right in. We had a good press in there. And once that was done, we've been across, we've levelled the frets with a sanding beam. Once that was done, we've gone back and where we'd levelled them, they were flat, we've put the crown back in. So we've re-crowned them, and once we've re-crowned them, we've polished them. We've polished them with various degrees of, various grits of sandpaper. Still zeroed out, so we know the neck's dead straight. It's been straight all the way through. Just to prove that point, we're going to stick the levelling beam on there, or the notched neck level checker, and there you go. You see it's still straight in the middle, at the edge, and at this edge. It's all done, it went really well. Like I said, I've just finished polishing the frets, and I did something different I hadn't done before. I bought myself a Hosco, made in Japan, 1000 grit fret rubber, polishing rubber. Never used one before, used it this time. Polishes them really well. That impressed with this, it's that much quicker than using 4 grits of sandpaper like I did these days. 1000 grit, 1200, 1500, 2000 grit. Took a lot of rubbing, a lot of work. This does it in a quarter of a time. So I've gone and ordered a full set of these from Crimson Guitars. Not these type, this is Hosco made in Japan. Different type, a bigger. I think 25 quid for a set of 4. Super fine, fine, medium and heavy gauge. So various grits. So that, absolutely brilliant. I'm just going to zoom in just a little. And hopefully you can see, you can have a look at these frets and where we are. And there you go, you can see all the frets, they're highly polished. They're all re-radiused, crown should I say. Beautiful fret job. That is more or less, it's not quite ready to go back on the guitar yet. But what I have done is I've restained the fingerboard using Rustin's wood dye. Just going to pull out a bit. I've restained it 3 coats of stain to make it all dark so you can't see where I've filled in, because the main purpose of this video was to fill in these deep grooves that were in the fretboard with there when I got it. And what I need to do now is, you can see it's on the jig. I'm going to zoom out. It's all on the jig. What I'm going to do is I'm going to unbolt the jig, unclamp the jig, and put the guitar on its side. What I'm going to do is where these frets meet the edge of the guitar, I'm going to put a little drop of super glue on each one, in case there's any gaps in there, just to run some super glue underneath. And it's also going to tidy up the edges. It's beautiful, you can't feel one fret by doing that. Absolutely all tied in superbly. So I'm really pleased with how the job's gone. Like I say, I just want to do that with a bit of glue, a bit of super glue. We'll put a little fitment on the super glue tube, so we'll just put a tiny, tiny drop at a time. And then what we're going to do is, once that's all done and we've got it all sanded again, I'm just going to put some lemon oil on the fretboard just to treat the wood, and that's it. It'll be ready to go back on the guitar. So going to get on with that this afternoon. I've got other jobs on the other bench as well, which I'm doing. I've got 2 jobs doing tonight, so I'm going to be pretty busy. So rather than gab all day, I'm going to crack on, and I'll catch you later. Right, good morning. I've got a few steps ahead on the Kramer Focus 3000 because everything just fell into place yesterday. So I've rebuilt the guitar, and it's not complete yet. But what I've done is I've put the electrics back in on the scratch plate, put the scratch plate back, I've rewired the pots and everything. I've used braided pushback cloth wire, which I always use now. This gubbins, blah 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 blah, black, white, yellow, loads of it. Nice tidy wiring job in there. I've put the neck back on. I've got the tremolo off on. I've lost one of my springs, so I've had to order some new springs. So I've gone and ordered the noiseless springs, ones with the rubber tubing on the outside. So I've ordered some of them. I've put the tremolo off on. You'll see it's not strung. The reason it's not strung is I've gone with brand new screws in the scratch plate, as you can see, but I don't have any new screws for the pickup, so I've ordered some of them. So I'm going to have brand new silver screws in there. And also, I don't know if you'll see, but if you look at the scratch plate, I roughed it up and made it look a bit like brushed chrome because I've gone across there with wire wool. It's taken away all the marks that were on there. It looks absolutely brilliant. And the piece de resistance, as they say, is the fingerboard. It's all done. The frets, it's had a complete refret. It's had all them holes, all them deep grooves all filled in, and I think you'll agree it looks fantastic. with the strings on, you're not going to see the difference in, a tiny bit of coloration difference because it's super glue in there and dust, rosewood dust, but it looks absolutely brilliant. I mean, look at it. This guitar cost me 140 quid and delivery. I think I've probably spent a tenner on bits, screws and stuff. I'm going to replace the screws. I'm going to put some new screws in the five way as well, so it's going to look brilliant. I think this has probably cost me £150. The tremolo, it's either a late 82 or an early 83 original Floyd Rose, made by Charlotte, distributed by Kramer himself, so it's a Kramer Floyd Rose really. I'll put a new arm socket on there so I can use a modern arm, and I'll put a big brass block on it. Oh, a big brass block. So this guitar's probably cost me about £170. I haven't had to upgrade the pots or anything. I haven't upgraded the caps or anything. I've left it all basically at stock, but I think you'll agree it looks stunning. With a new fret job on there, my neck being straight and level, and a brand new fret job, this is going to play absolutely awesome. And I absolutely love this Seymour Duncan. This is a custom shop Duncan Invader. It's amazing, and it's got a split option. Sounds brilliant in the split position. Sounds brilliant in both positions, but I actually like it in the split position. So this guitar, I absolutely love this guitar. I can't wait to get the new silver screws so I can get it all silvered up and looking brilliant. It's going to look fantastic. It's even got its own hard case, which I got from my friend Robert Peach over at his Cox Cases Limited. He's a good friend of mine. I do all his guitars, and if he's got any second cases knocking about, I can go and pick myself one up pretty cheap, which I've done. But look at it. I'm so pleased with the neck on this. This just about is going to wrap up the video. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back when I've got the other bits and I've got it all strung up, and we'll have a little demo on there. So that's kind of it for now. I think you'll agree it looks absolutely beautiful. Made in Japan by ESP, 1983, because it's got a chicken-beak headstock. You can see on the back, made in Japan. If I can hold it long enough. All the tuners are back on, string trees back on, locking nuts back on. Looks amazing. I really love this guitar. What a great acquisition this was for £170. So there you go, that's it with that. I'm going to wait till the other bits, but I've got to play the waiting game with it now. Just have a look at that neck again. I've got to play the waiting game till the other bits arrive now. Postman's due shortly. I don't think anything's going to come today. I've got other stuff on order as well, but that's it for now. I'm going to wrap this up, and I'm going to leave a couple of minutes space open just to put, you know, come back when I've got all the bits on, got it strung up, and that'll be it. So until then, be good, and I'll see you soon. Right, good morning everyone. It's a good day. It's a nice day outside, sun shining. It's Thursday, the whatever it is of March, second week of March. This is the conclusion of my Kramer Focus 3000 video, and you remember I bought it. It was found in a dumpster in a skip, what we call a skip here in England, and the guy had it up on sale for £175. It's in pretty decent condition. And I managed to get him down to £140 or something delivered, and I bought it, and this was it. Now if you remember, it comes with an original Floyd Rose, 1982-83 model, one of the first Kramer distributed ones, because once Floyd Rose himself realised he couldn't keep up with demand, he needed to get them factory made rather than make them by hand, and Charlotte took over making them, and Kramer took over the distribution. So they came on early Kramers, and this being Kramer Focus 3000 with a chicken-beak headstock is a 1983-ish model. In production 82 to 84, so a good guess is 83. Anyway, it came with the original Floyd, which I swapped out the arm, put a modern bracket on there so I could fit a modern arm. I added a big brass block from futone.com there, and I've just added this week with noiseless springs, which are absolutely brilliant. They really work. The reason I added them is the original springs, the three I had, the three brass looking coloured ones, I lost one, so I thought I need some new springs. I'm not going to buy some cheap ones, I can get some of these noiseless ones. They're absolutely brilliant. So all I need to do with this now is put the cover plate back on, which I've got. But the reason we worked on this guitar, and I put a new string tree on there, you've seen all this before. We worked on this guitar, if you remember, it had divots along the length of the fretboard on every other fret, quite deep as well, and I filled them in. And to do that I had to remove the frets, and I'm not going to put the old frets back in, you don't do that. I refretted using Hosco jumbo fret wires, 2.8mm wide by 1.3 high. Really fantastic job. You look, all the divots are filled in now, you can't tell, can you? the guitar looks probably on camera slightly better than it is. I mean, there are a couple of dings here and there, a couple of scratches on this part here, but the guitar is an absolutely fine fettle. It plays like an absolute dream. The neck's straight. The only problem I had with the neck, it's not a problem, but see the rosewood there, it's so thin, it's about 4mm thick. And so when it came to filling up these holes and re-radiusing it, I didn't want to remove any material as such. All I wanted to do was slightly re-radius it, just make sure the radius was fine, removing as little material as possible, which we did. We've not even took a 1/5 of a millimetre off the top of this rosewood, which is great. The radius is bang on, the fret wire is beautiful, Hosco fret wire made in Japan. I wanted to stay with the Japanese theme. These frets do not dig in any way at all. See how close I can actually get in. I think that's close enough. But let's just tilt it down and you can just see the edges of these frets, how they're all beveled in at 35 degrees. And I've gone over the edges and they're absolutely beautiful frets, nice jumbo frets. One slight problem I've found is a bit of fret buzz. Tiny bit of fret buzz, and I realise why that is. Because these are new frets and they're 1.3mm high, I imagine the old ones are only about 1mm, we've heightened the frets by about 1/3 of a millimetre, meaning the strings are closer to the frets. What I'm going to have to do is, the nut is now probably 0.25 of a millimetre too low. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to shim this nut. So I'm going to remove the nut, get a shim under there. I mean, it plays fine as it is, but I don't want that rattle. A little bit of rattle around here you can hear, so I forgot all about that. I need to shim this nut a little, so I'm going to buy some shims today. And we're going to shim this nut and just bring that height up just a little bit, just to stop this ringing around here. The guitar, it plays fantastic. You know about the electrics, it's got a custom shop Invader which we've fitted. I don't know when it was fitted, but it's a custom shop one and it's quite an early one by the looks of it. I put bigger saddle blocks in there. Now this one didn't fit because they were too big and the string wouldn't fit my gap, so I had to take this one out and file it down and make it fit. But I've gone with bigger saddle inserts. They're massive, big chunky things these are, but not almost a centimetre long. They're steel, they're super heavy duty. So I think our tremolo now, for an 82 tremolo, looks absolutely brilliant. It doesn't go out of tune. I've got all the fine tuners about halfway up there. You can really give this some hammer. I think the guitar looks absolutely fantastic. You've seen everything, you've seen the headstock and that. So really, this has cost me, with the big block upgrades, with the inserts upgrades, with the refret, with the filling in the neck, this still costs me under £200 British pounds, £200 sterling. It's probably cost me about 180, £190 when all said and done. Fantastic super-strat for what I've paid. Would I sell it? I don't know. It's my favourite. It's the only super-strat I've got, and it's one of my favourite sounding, best sounding guitars I've got at the moment. So, something else I've done. I've replaced all the screws for silver ones. And I've been out this week and I've bought new screws for all the pickups, so we've gone with silver ones, so we've got all brand new silver. It actually really looks the part. It looks fantastic, this guitar. So even cosmetically now, it looks great. It plays brilliant. Nice solid chunky neck, well not chunky neck, but a nice solid neck there. It's as good as any guitar I've got and it's cost me under 200 quid. So would I sell it? Maybe if someone popped along and offered me 450, 500 quid for it. I wouldn't really have that much of a choice, would I? But as it is at the moment, no, I don't think I'd sell this. This is the only super-strat I've got. I've got a Mayon's case for it over there, which it's going to live in. Well, I say it's a Mayon's case, it's a Hiscox case. I'm friendly with one of the guys who works at Hiscox cases. Robert Peach is a good fella. And I asked him if we've got any cases knocking about, and he says, Hiscox, if they've got any seconds, they knock them out. And people can actually go to the factory and buy them, and I bought this one. I'm not going to tell you what it costs because that's not any of your business, but if you ever do need a guitar case, you know, because what armours are in contacting Hiscox and saying, you got any seconds knocking about that fits this, fits that, and I'm sure they'll sort you out a deal. I've had a couple of cases off them, and the thing is, I don't buy them to sell. That would just be wrong. I buy them for my guitars. I've got one there, I've got that one for this Kramer, I've got one for my Telecaster build, which is still going to be built, but I'll finish that off, and I've got one for my Dreadnought, my Yamaha Dreadnought over here, my FG720S. So yeah, I only buy cases for myself. I don't buy them to sell on. That'd just be wrong, wouldn't it? You know, but if you do want one, you could always get in touch with Hiscox Cases, say you got any seconds cases, and I'm sure if you've got anything, they'll let you know. So that's it. Tying up for video. This guitar, I love this guitar. It plays great, sounds great. It's one of them things you're just better off keeping it than selling it, because I don't think you're not ever going to get what it's worth. I mean, this tremolo at 82, 83 original Floyd Rose with upgrades. I've still got all the original parts for this. The original tremolo arm, the original insert, I've got the original block. It's got to be worth 200 quid on its own, that tremolo. And then you've got a custom shop Invader. I won't let that go for much less than 80 quid. You know, so there's 280 quid on bits. This guitar's got to be worth, if someone wanted to get this guitar off me, we've got be making an offer in excess of £400 cash. With the case, probably 500 quid, somewhere around about here. I don't think this one's for sale really, to be honest with you. Unless someone come and made me a daft offer and I could replace it with something equally as good, you know, but newer, then fair dues. But no, my Kramer Focus 3000, made in Japan by ESP, so you know it's a good guitar. Made around about 1983, it's got the Kramer neck plate on there, serial number 10755, I don't know if that means anything. Not really that bothered. It's all about the playability of this guitar. No, the neck's straight, it's been refretted, it plays beautiful, Floyd Rose stays in tune, the Seymour Duncan Invader sounds brilliant, the tuners are good. I'd imagine they're Japanese tuners, so probably made by Goto, even though they're not stamped. Schala locking nut on there. I've got a Schala string retainer on there. All this absolutely bang on. You can't really go wrong, can you? It's been cleaned up. Another thing I did, the scratch plate was a bit oily in places and shiny, so what I did is I took some steel wool and matted it all up. I mean matted as in give it a matte colour by roughing it up a bit rather than a shiny colour. It looks absolutely brilliant. So this, yeah, great player. If I ever need to use a Floyd Rose, this is going to be the one. So that's it. I'm going to wrap up this video now. It's been a long-winded affair to getting this guitar alright, but it's my guitar and I'm really pleased with it. And for something under £200 with an original Floyd Rose and a Seymour Duncan Invader on there with a coil split, which sounds brilliant, it's a wonderful sounding, wonderful playing guitar, and I'm going to really enjoy using it, and I do enjoy using it. It's fantastic. Tuned in today, I put some heavier strings on it, 1149s Dioderios, so I've got it tuned down to D, not drop D, just D. Probably not my thing. I might go with a 10 gauge and up it back up to standard at some point, because I'm not really into playing that D stuff anymore. If I play it, I could play it on my Les Paul or something like that and put some heavy strings on there. Much easier than having this just set up for D. I think this needs to be set up for E with lighter strings. And that's it. So that's it. Wrapping up this series on this guitar. Cracking guitar. It's been a fun project. The refret's been brilliant. Getting the neck, just again the neck looking the part and feeling the part now. I know the fretboard has got problems, there's a few scratches still in my fretboard, but there's nothing there gonna hinder the way I play the guitar anymore. I'll get a shim under that nut and that's it, job done. So this one's wrapped up. I'm going to show it just once more just before I go. Kramer Focus 3000, original Floyd Rose, big block edition, got a Seymour Duncan Invader in there, custom shop. Made by ESP in Japan, around about 83, between 82 and 84, say 83, chicken-beak headstock, all stock. It's got the through locking nut through the back there. Absolutely brilliant guitar, cracking guitar to look at, cracking guitar to play, and that's it. Let's wrap this video up, let's wrap this series up. So until I'm back with another project, be good to each other, and I'll talk to you soon.